go. All right, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram in the corner. And I have a few minutes to wait for people to start tuning in, specifically Deep Creek Middle School. If you are tuning in from Facebook and YouTube, I will be able to see your comments here directly. If you are on Instagram, you're over to my left. I may not be paying as much attention to Instagram, but if any of you are from Deep Creek Middle School and you want to give me a shout in the comments to let me know that you guys are watching, that you can hear me well, that's also important, that I can be heard, because then reading these letters out loud to no one, I will be into space. It'll be received, I'm sure. It'll be recorded. So I'll wait to get a comment or a shout from someone from Deep Creek Middle School to let me know that you guys are ready for me to read all of these beautiful letters and give some answers to some questions that you guys may have. Hello. Hello, my beautiful Aunt Denise. And hello to Lindy Bo. I'm glad that you can hear me well. That's always a good sign. I would just hate to start reading some of these letters and none of the students hear their letters being read based on, hi Randy, based on the fact that these are children. I will not be giving their names, but hi Chrissy on Instagram, but I will be using their nicknames that they gave me, which was so creative, right? They were able to think of their own nicknames so that it's confidential on both ends. So I see Chrissy, I know she's in Eleuthera. I'm going to start in hopes that Deep Creek Middle School is watching. Let me see if maybe I can get a shout from someone. In the meantime, in between time, let me. All right, so we're going to get the ball rolling because time is of the necessity. And this will be recorded and placed on my website. It'll stay up on my, hi Nikita. It'll be placed on my website, on my YouTube, and all those good things. Again, let me just, waiting for my go ahead, and then I'll know that the kids are watching. The kids are the future, guys. Oh, why is that still up? A cliche, but very true. All right, so we're going to get the ball rolling. Our first letter comes from a very cool 8th grader, is their nickname. Dear Miss Jupp, if you're reading this out loud, that means I'm famous. That being mentioned, hi Facebook. Hi from a very cool 8th grader, Facebook. Thanks for the free clout. You're very welcome. I pray that this letter finds you in good health. How is life sailing? Oh, that's cute, sailing. Are there any ideas that have been giving you energy lately? Yes, you know, this is one of these ideas that has been giving me energy lately, reading this letter out loud to all of you guys. My life was fine before school reopened. They make us do so much work at Deep Creek Middle School. What are some obstacles that you had to overcome as a conservationist, and how did you overcome them? Are there any that you're still struggling with? For me, as a student at Deep Creek Middle School, one obstacle that I had to conquer was getting up earlier to make it to the bus stop. That meant getting up at 5:50 in the morning. Even so, I still end up crossing paths with that very obstacle from time to time. It happens. What do you like and dislike about your profession? Were there any other professions you originally wanted to choose? If so, what led you to narrow it down to this one? How much do you get paid? I imagine you're rich and well off, seeing that scientists do get paid a lot. P.S. I looked you up on Instagram out of curiosity to find out that you are really pretty. Thank you. But besides the point, I'm genuinely curious at how you'll answer in corresponding to my letter. I'm looking forward to tuning into your podcast. Respectfully, a very cool 8th grader. So to jump back to the questions, one of the things I had to overcome was I wasn't sure at one point if I would be able to go off to school and study marine biology like I wanted to. Is that something I'm still struggling with? No. Fortunately, I was able to go off to school and study marine biology. I also used to have to get up for 5:30 in the morning to jump on the bus for 6:30. So I feel you on that struggle. But school is important. So push it through and you'll be happy you did it. Because one day you'll blink and you'll be an adult and life will be life. What I dislike about my profession is the fact that more people don't care about it and aren't giving more to it, more being time, money, and just attention. And the thing that I like the most is the feeling that I'm making a difference in the world. I think that's the purpose of being, right? Finding what drives you and what makes you feel like you've made a difference in the world. And were there any other professions I wanted to choose? Yes, I actually wanted to be a singer for a very long time, and then I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I ended up landing on this because I found that my real passion lied in speaking to people about the marine environment, because I knew that in doing that, I could help change minds and change behaviors to, push my dream in saving the world, one ocean at a time. How much do I get paid? I actually get paid once a month, and that's like 12 times a year. And I am so happy that I was able to read your letter, and you were first a very cool 8th grader. Love your nickname. This next letter. Hi, I'm an 8th grade student at Deep Creek Middle School. My favorite class at DCMS is PE/sailing. In sailing, I'm currently learning how to windsurf. Very cool. When I first tried windsurfing, it was hard to get the sail out of the water, but now it is very easy. Deep Creek Middle School also has School Without Walls, SWW. Is when we spend 2 weeks learning about the ecosystem, lots of different things. Wow. My favorite year of SWW so far is grade 7 because we learned about sharks and turtles. I even got to catch a shark, and in grade 9, we will be going on to scuba diving. Very, very cool. After SWW is over, we work on presentations of learning. This is when we tell our parents what we learned. I think that it is cool that you are a marine conservationist and a science communicator. Thank you. I think I'm pretty cool too. I have some questions about things you do. What is marine conservation? How long did it take to become a marine conservationist? How hard is it to organize trash cleanups all over the country? This kid's done their research, guys. And what classes do you have to take if you want to be a marine biologist? From a windsurfer. So marine conservation, short term is, yes. Oh, thank you. It's going great. Thank you from Deep Creek Middle School. So marine conservation is the protection and preservation of our marine environment. How long did it take me to become a marine conservationist? I think it takes as long as you take to make the decision that you want to start protecting and conserving our marine environment, because anyone can be a marine conservationist. For me, it took me about, I would say, over 20 years, because I was still back and forth trying to think if I wanted to be a singer or a veterinarian. How hard is it to organize trash cleanups all over the country? So far, I've only been doing it on one island, but it's not very hard. It's always about the planning, the organization, and knowing who can help and how to get things done. I hope to organize trash cleanups all over the country very soon, though. What classes do you have to take? I've read some of these letters already. This is a very popular question. When you're in high school, it's important to just take all of the sciences: geography, biology, chemistry, physics. You want to hear me sing. Physics is another science that I took as well, but it ends up not being as important depending on the area of marine biology that you choose to go into. But in college, you end up taking things like general biology, zoology, which is really interesting, botany, oceanography, and chemistry. So, thank you, a windsurfer. The next letter is from Red Robin. Dear Miss Lashanti Jupp, my full name, guys. I am in 8th grade, and I'm in a club called Early Act. In my club, we would go around the neighborhood and try to help out the people that live there. Have you ever been a part of a beach cleanup? And if so, how many? I've been a part of about 2 to 5 cleanups, and they're fun when you have your friends. What's your favorite thing about Earth? My favorite thing is the ocean because there are so many mysteries that live at the bottom of the ocean. As you probably already know, Deep Creek Middle School is an eco-friendly school. So we try our best not to use as much plastic as we can. What is your favorite part of your job? Sincerely, Red Robin. I have probably been a part of about 10 or more beach cleanups. I actually haven't sat down and ever thought about counting them. I hope to have a larger number by the end of the year. My favorite thing about Earth is also the ocean, especially the beach. I love, love, love laying out on the beach and enjoying the sun and the sand and the sea. And my favorite part of my job is meeting people and speaking with them about marine conservation. This next letter is from Green Turtle Catcher. Dear Lashanti Jupp, I'm an 8th grader at Deep Creek Middle School. At Deep Creek Middle School, we have this thing called SWW, which stands for School Without Walls. This is basically how it sounds. We do school, but we're outside. The island school also helps us. When I say help, I mean like if we go snorkeling, the island school would give us instructors that are pros at snorkeling. Oh, this sounds pretty cool. They teach us what to do and what not to do. If I had to tell anyone at least one thing I learned from snorkeling, I would say you always need a buddy and you have to be a high five away from your buddy. That's actually also a really good tip for scuba diving. We usually do SWW for a whole week. It's a great way to have fun and get out of class. In grade 7, for the first SWW, my classmates and I went on a boat. That day we tagged turtles. Don't get me wrong, we did it for a good reason. I would hope that you tag turtles for a good reason. And now I've lost where I was. We tag them to see what they do in their daily life. I personally love the water, but sometimes I'm very cautious about my surroundings. For example, on Thursdays, we have sailing, so I was sailing by myself. I was already scared because I was on this boat by myself, and I was kind of confused on what to do. Well, I understood my brain wasn't really cooperating with me. Like, it wasn't helping me understand. So the water was already rough, and I was heading back to shore. Then suddenly, I saw a black thing in the water, and it wasn't a stingray. I started to panic, and I started to kind of cry. So that was my terrifying experience of sailing. How was your first day as a marine biologist? My first day as a marine biologist was great. It was actually in college. Was it fun or were you nervous? Yes, I was nervous. You have this struggle to always wonder if you'll ever be good enough, if you'll ever know enough, but it's definitely always fun. But other than that, I love the sea. Actually, my favorite animal lives in the sea. My favorite animal is kind, peaceful, and dominant. Did you guess it? I didn't. Yes, my favorite animal are whales. I love all whales, mainly blue whales and killer whales. What's your favorite animal? Sea otters, guys. Sea otters and manatees. What is the most interesting animal you've ever seen? Do you focus on specific animals or species, or do you study all animals? And here are some more questions. What kind of classes did you take to become a marine biologist? Did you have any support during this journey? And who would you like to thank the most? So the most interesting animal I've ever seen has to be the seahorse. I mean, a lot of animals are interesting, especially ocean creatures. I think ocean creatures are the most interesting creatures on the planet. They're the aliens to me, because we don't live in the ocean with them. But yeah, I really think seahorses are the coolest for many, many reasons. One, because the men deliver babies. So, do I focus on specific animals? So the type of work that I do specifically, which I do work at the Perry Institute for Marine Science. I know that someone actually mentions that later. Our focus is on coral reef ecosystems. The area that I work in deals a lot more with the people. So I do enjoy doing that, and people are animals, so that counts. But before that, I did a lot of site-based conservation. So I focused more on areas, which is protected areas or getting protected areas. And before that, I actually worked with dolphins, sea lions, sharks, and stingrays. I think I've had some pretty cool jobs in my life. Did I have support during this journey? Yes, I definitely had so much support from all my friends and my family, because when I finally decided on what I wanted to do, it was just like, yeah, this is totally Lashanti. It's you. And who would you like to thank the most? Actually, when I read this, I thought about it. I think like there are so many people to thank, but I don't thank my parents, because without them, I would not be the person who I am. I don't know who I would be. Definitely someone else. This letter, addressed from Earth, Bahamas, Eleuthera, Deep Creek. The current time was 8:35. Not sure if that was AM or PM though. Is from the Sea Wizard. Dear Lashanti Jeb, I am 13 years old, and I have helped many people who wanted their wish to come true. But besides that, I want to tell you a little about me and my school. Deep Creek Middle School is a plastic-free school where we don't use plastic bottles or straws, etc. Currently, I'm in an eco club, and I and many others in this club with me are trying to get a school-wide recycling program. We need a nationwide recycling program. Okay, so enough about school. I would like to ask you some questions. For starters, I would like to know what a conservationist is. I would like to know what inspired you to become a marine conservationist. Do you have a favorite ocean animal? Mine is a mantis shrimp. That's a really good one. Did you know that approximately 450 species of mantis shrimp have currently been discovered worldwide? Thanks for answering my questions. Sincerely, the Sea Wizard. Yeah, I want to meet the Sea Wizard too, guys. And I love that he makes people's wishes come true. Sea Wizard, I wish to come to Deep Creek Middle School. I want to hang out with you guys. So your first question, what is a conservationist? This is anybody who decides that they want to help preserve and protect the environment and wildlife. That's the quick and dry answer. What inspired me? I think my pride for my country, the Bahamas, I think is the most beautiful country in the world. I stay repping. That really is what helped me want to protect the marine environment, because the Bahamas is the ocean is the Bahamas. It is what we are. And yeah, my favorite ocean animal, again, sea otter and manatees. Thank you, Ocean Wizard. Oh, guys, this one's green. All right, this is from Coral Bloom. Let me get a... Yeah, these are some pretty cool names, true. So, hi, Miss Lashanti. Hi, Coral Bloom. I am 13 years old. I am so excited I got the opportunity to write you this letter. I wonder what it's like to be a marine conservationist. You must have a pretty important job. You protect our marine life and their ecosystems. That's astonishing. I want to know what motivates you to take action and create a better surrounding for yourself, others, and also fishes. The pride of my country, that really motivates me. I just want to tell you that as an 8th grader at Deep Creek Middle School, one of the first green schools in the Bahamas, holler! I appreciate your work and encourage to make a change, and your courage to make a change. You inspire me to strive for a better Bahamas. You inspire me to strive. I have lost my spot. You inspire me to strive for a better country and to protect our resources and wildlife in general. Therefore, if we don't do it, then who will? Exactly. Can I get an amen? Amen. At Deep Creek Middle School, We use little to no plastic. Our Eco Club has been set in a place to have a recycling program by using bins categorized under recycling, trash, and paper. What would you say is the number one pollutant in Bahamian waters? The Gardening Club has talked about and shared the importance of living a sustainable lifestyle, especially when a strike of reality came our way with the pandemic. I know. It drew the realization that if we were to stop retrieving our food from the United States of America, that we would be in quite the issue. Thumbs down is what is here, but I will act out the thumbs down for you guys. So now the club tries to encourage more people to start a small garden and simply grow a few tomatoes or bananas in their backyard. It could be anything. All you have to do is start small. It doesn't have to be anything major. Personally, I really like the aloe they grow at school. It's really good for your hair. Don't you know it? Aloe is great for your hair, guys. Do you grow any crops, or would you like to start growing any crops? Thank you for this opportunity. I am so thrilled that I got to share my experiences with you and tell you a little bit about my school. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay beautiful, guys. And I appreciate you so much. The one and only Coral Bloom. So to answer your questions, according to Crystal Ambrose et al., I actually went and dug up this paper by a Bahamian student, researcher. Shout out to Crystal Ambrose, aka Crystal Ocean. And a study that she did across Eleuthera showed that plastic fragments smaller than 2.5 centimeters were the most common pollutant on our shores. So that's those little pieces of plastic. Next up was fishing materials like ropes and nets. And thirdly was cigarettes or other smoking type materials that you get along with smoking. In regards to planting crops, I have a black thumb. I have a hard time growing crops, but fortunately my dad has our yard filled with different types of fruit trees and herbs, mangoes, guava, soursop. He grows lettuce now, tomato, and of course peppers. He even has herbs like rosemary and mint. Right now, mulberries are my favorite. I pick them every day off the tree, probably twice a day. Giving a new meaning to round and round the mulberry bush, because I literally just go round and round picking and eating off of that tree. Thank you, Coral Bloom. Next letter is from Jabba, aka J World. Hey, my nickname is J World. I use that nickname because my nickname is actually Jabba, and I love to learn about the world and things around it. I go to Deep Creek Middle School, and I am an 8th grader. Our School Without Walls, aka SWW, is exactly what it sounds like. It's still school, but we do more hands-on work, like in the ecosystem, economy, and environment. But I would like to learn about you. So here are some questions. What is a cob? Now, this one only had that one question, and I wondered if he meant like corn on the cob, or she. Could be a she. But corn on the cob is the base on which the kernels sit. But I also noticed you spelled it with 2 B's. So I actually went and Googled cob just to see, what would come up, right? Turns out a sea cob, plural cobs, are a black-backed gull, seagull, or it's a pier made from cobblestones, or a hand basket from Wicca. Lastly, it can be building material, which consists of clay, sand, straw, water, and earth. So, J-World, there you have it. That's possibly what a cob could be. Next letter is from Hawaiian Ocean. Dear Miss Jupp, I'm a student from Deep Creek Middle School, and I am in grade 8. I love the ocean. My name means ocean in Hawaii. Nice. I enjoy farming, and I think it's a sustainable way to make the Bahamas more food secure. I have submitted 2 articles for the YRE, I think that's the Young Reporters of the Environment contest, held by Brief, if I'm correct. And I am talented at writing articles and persuasive essays. Sounds like you are a science communicator. What you are doing is really great for our world, and I'm excited to send this letter to you. The question I have for you is, why did you choose to go into science? And what do you study? From Hawaiian Ocean. So, I have always had a fascination with the natural world and with learning things. And science just naturally seemed to be the thing to get into. I was always curious about how do trees grow? Why is the sky blue? Why is the ocean blue? So science was definitely the way to go to satisfy my curiosity, which is what makes a scientist. A very curious person, not afraid to ask questions and get answers. Kind of like a journalist, but for themselves. And what do I study? So currently, I'm not actively studying anything, although I think that we are always students because you can learn something every day. But I did study marine biology for my bachelor's at Barry University. Shout out to the Buccaneers, go Bucks. And I recently got my master's in conservation leadership at the University of Cambridge. Cambridge Blues, great. So that is what I study. Thank you for your beautiful letter, Hawaiian Ocean. Let's see. Yes, these kids are really smart. I'm very, very impressed by these letters. And yeah, the students are the greatest. Hi. Oh, this is from Starfish Fan. Hi. I am 13 years old. I hate cats. I love sports. I love swimming. I love learning new things. I love doing new things. I love experiencing new things and much more. I attend Deep Creek Middle School. Deep Creek Middle School is fun, educational, has big opportunities, and very experienceable, and much more as well. I really have to go to this school, guys. Deep Creek has this thing called SWW, which stands for School Without Walls. It's a learning thing outside school and not in the classroom. It's very fun, like you can go on boats and explore the marine life, and you can swim in different places where there are plenty of different habitats. From Starfish Fan. I think Starfish Fan wanted to brag about their school, and I hope to visit and see all of these things really soon. All right, the next one we have is from Space Boy. Okay. Dear Miss Lashanti, I am a student at Deep Creek Middle School. I am 13 years old, and I live in Eleuthera, and I love to go to the beach. Me too. At Deep Creek Middle School, we try to conserve all of our resources. We do an event called School Without Walls. School Without Walls is basically when we go into the ocean and look at all the different marine life. I wanted to know what is the difference between marine and terrestrial environments and how these differences affect conservation strategies. Wow. Another question I want to know is, what is the Ali effect? Describe an example of Ali effects in the marine environment. I think you're trying to ask me a question for a test. I already took my BGCSEs, but I will answer these. My last question is, what is the best way to restore and maintain ocean health? Sincerely, Space Boy. He also added this picture of a turtle. If you guys can see, it has a quote on it that says, sea turtle wisdom. Slow down, trust the flow, spend more time at the beach, enjoy time by yourself, swim at your own pace, let the worries roll off your back, and breathe. I think I like sea turtle wisdom. Now, to answer your questions, Space Boy, the differences between the marine and terrestrial environment. So I consider, and a lot of people consider, the marine environment to start at the high water mark. So when high tide, wherever that stops, straight out to the deep blue ocean. And the terrestrial environment, of course, would be on land upwards of that. But that definition can also vary depending on who you're talking to. In the Bahamas, because the marine and terrestrial environments are so connected, conservation strategies tend to be across the board for them all. So depending on where you are would determine how your conservation strategy is. When you're in a place like the Bahamas, it tends to just kind of be fluid. Now, your other question, what is the Ali effect? I'm going to put my glasses on for this so I look extra smart, because I had to make sure Google this and figure out if I knew the right answer. So from what I gathered and what I remember, if you had to put this in terms for the marine environment, the Ali effect, and anyone out there listening, if I'm incorrect, just put that in the comments and I will see it. And I will hang my head in shame, but I'm always here to learn. The Ali effect deals with the theory that the average individual fitness is related to the amount of individuals in a population. So you have a group of animals. We're going to use schooling fish here because we're talking about the marine environment. When you have a large number of fish, the average individual fitness of each fish, or its lifespan, its health, is higher because the group of fish is larger. But when the group is smaller, then the individual fitness of each fish goes down because they're more likely to get eaten by a shark. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody tell me, but that's what I Googled, and typically Google does not lead me wrong. Thank you for your very, very interesting questions, Space Boy. And let's keep it rolling. So the next letter is from Turtle Lover. Hello, how are you today? I am doing very well. That's nice, assuming that you said you are doing all right. Now, if I didn't say I was doing all right, this letter might have been a little, but here we go. I have several questions for you, like what exactly is a marine conservationist? I feel like the name is quite self-explanatory, but you can break it down a little bit more. A next question, what are some of your goals when it comes to the marine conservation, and are they going well? What made you realize that you want to be a marine conservationist? Sincerely, Turtle Lover. Oh, I see. What does fitness mean? For me, it means the individual's health and lifespan, likelihood of survival. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might just be. So, what is a marine conservationist? For me, a marine conservationist is anybody who takes the steps to help protect and preserve our environment, the health of the environment, the cleanliness of the marine environment. And I firmly believe that anybody can be or is a marine conservationist. You don't have to go off to school and be a marine biologist, get that degree or anything. You can be a marine conservationist just by simply choosing to do something to help protect and keep our oceans beautiful and blue. What are some of my goals? When it comes to marine conservation, are they going well? So my goals for marine conservation is to just reconnect people with nature, specifically in the Bahamas, reconnect our people with the ocean. I think that one of the first steps in marine conservation is breaking this myth that we're separate from nature and that humans play a key role in this ecosystem. And in the Bahamas, of course, the humans being Bahamians, I aspire to just reconnect them with nature, one conversation at a time, one ocean at a time will be saved. And I think that it's going pretty well. I got the chance to do this. So clearly people like hearing me talk. And the show that I do, Siren Sundays, is also going really well. So I would say, yes, I'm heading in the right direction to get my goals accomplished. Thank you, Turtle Lover. This next letter is from, and I've been practicing how to pronounce this one, Nisha da Spitz. Hey, Hi, Dad. I'm live right now reading letters from an elementary school. Okay, love you too, Dad. Guys, I'm so sorry for that. So, Nisha the Sensits is the name. Hey, Miss Lashanti. My nickname is Nisha the Sensits, and I am 13 years old. I hate dogs. That's funny. I feel like you should be friends with the one that hates cats, even though I like dogs and cats. Dogs a bit more. I love food, but I'm still skinny, I'm goofy, and I'm eating right now. I wonder if you're actually eating right now as well. I attend Deep Creek Middle School, and at Deep Creek Middle School, we have School Without Walls. It's a fun way to explore our environment and still have fun. Then we present it to a big crowd. My question to you is, what is it like to be a marine scientist? I think it's very fulfilling. I think it's very fun, and it's my passion, and I love doing it. So, really, guys, are we saying hi to my dad? And so it's amazing. That's what it's like, honestly. So I love what I do. And I think that's so important in life. Find what you love and do it. So this next letter comes from Sailing Champion. Yes, Sailing Champion. Dear Miss Jep, hi, I'm in grade 8 at Deep Creek Middle School. a great fun school on Eleuthera that offers many fun activities. On Fridays, we have clubs, and in my club, we work on our little farm/garden. And other clubs would like to do things like CPR or learn about the environment or help the community. At Deep Creek Middle School, they teach many lovely things, including scuba in grade 9, sailing and windsurfing in grade 8, and swimming in grade 7. We were also the first green school in all of the Bahamas. It's pretty amazing. It is pretty amazing. I do have a question for you. I would like to know how many trash cleanups you go to each year. It doesn't have to be exact, but on average. Thank you for that. Also, I would like to know what classes in college you would have to take to become a marine conservationist. That is all I have to say. Thanks for reading. Sincerely, Sailing Champion. This person's straight to the point. So, I am aiming to do one a month. So far for the year, I have done 3. A 4th one is coming up this month, and I hope to see that increase, if not towards the other half of this year, next year. Shout out to Nikita, Young Marine Explorers, and Cat Island Conservation Institute, making these island cleanups happen with yours truly. So core subjects, again, biology, zoology, botany, oceanography, and chemistry tend to be the core subjects that you have to study to become a marine biologist. Now remember, to be a marine conservationist, you can just make that decision to help conserve your marine environment. Thank you, Sailing Champion. All right, this next one did not give a nickname, and I don't want to risk by saying their real name, but hopefully they recognize their letter. Hello, my name is blank. It starts with an A, though. I can say that. I am 13 years old, and I am from the island of Eleuthera. While watching one of your interviews, you're watching my show? Thank you. You were talking about doing cleanups. Usually, when beach cleanups are done, they are not effective because the trash is just moved from one place to another. Fair point. Or maybe some pieces of trash are reused, but it doesn't make much of a difference. Do you have tips on how this issue can be changed, especially for islands that don't have big recycling centers? Do you think being a conservationist is in a way connected to pollution? If so, how? When in this industry, seriously? And if so, how do you deal with them? What do you think came easiest for being a conservationist, and what do you think is a bit harder? From Anonymous, that starts with an A. Yeah, I really love this school too, guys. I'm about to move to Eleuthera. You heard it here, maybe for the 4th time. And thank you, Cache. So, it is hard to have a proper beach cleanup and not simply move trash from one place to another if you don't have the proper recycling centers. But fortunately, the former dump is now the New Providence Ecological Park. They are committed to proper separation of trash, proper removal and disposal of trash. So with the cleanups that I'm doing with YME and CC, Bahamas, Cat Island Conservation Institute, we do direct deposit into the dumpster, and we use buckets to pick up the trash. So we're moving trash, not using plastic bags. We're not adding to the waste. We put them in the dumpster, and the dumpster is taken to the New Providence Ecological Park in hopes that it is now in a place that is not going to affect the environment in a detrimental way, which is really key here because, yes, you're moving it from one place to another, but you're moving it from a harmful place to a place that is better not only for the marine environment, the terrestrial environment, but also for the people. So that's important. I think that being a conservationist is connected to pollution in that we want to stop it. So that's the way that I think it's connected. If I ever felt like someone was not taking me seriously, I try to stop talking about what I'm talking about and simply, ask them, why do you not care about this, or why are you not taking me or this seriously? And just kind of double back from there, because it's really important to make a connection. If people are not interested in something, if they don't love the environment, they're not going to want to conserve it. So it's always important to show them why the environment is important I think everyone should think the environment is important. Everyone should take these problems seriously because it affects all of us in the Bahamas, straight from the people who live on the island and fish for food, commercial fishermen, if you're working in the hotel, if you're a teacher, if you're a student, it's something that we all should take seriously. So it's always, again, if I find that someone's not taking me seriously, I try to go back and kind of ask them why they think that they shouldn't care and show them why they should. I hope that helped clarify that. The thing that came easiest for me is loving the environment, and loving animals and loving the ocean. The harder part was when I made the decision to pursue higher education because school is important, but it's not necessary. Yes, while I have 2 degrees, I'm hotter by 2 degrees. School is very rewarding, but there are so many ways that you can become a conservationist. And for me, one of the harder things was going through school. Always remember, while getting A's is important, what's more important is actually understanding what you're doing. And if you understand your schoolwork and what you're doing, getting A's will come very easily. So stay in school and do well, but always try to understand what you're doing. I hope that the teachers liked that message. So this next letter, sorry. So this next letter is from, oh, where is it? No, this is Patrick. We got a SpongeBob fan in the building, so that's exciting. Hey, Lashanti. My name is, no, this is Patrick, and I am 13 years old. I attend Deep Creek Middle School. I understand that you are a Bahamian Marine Conservationist. I am, and science communicator at the Perry Institute of Marine Science, and I have just a few questions. No, this is Patrick. You Googled me. You Googled me and you got it right. I do work at the Perry Institute for Marine Science. What island of the Bahamas do you live on? What classes do you have to take if you want to be a marine biologist? Is it hard to organize trash cleanups all over the country and finding people who are willing to clean up properly and not lazily? Are you working on any interesting research projects at this moment? I really hope you have a chance to answer some of these questions I have. All right. So, what island I live on? New Providence, aka Nassau, hopefully soon Eleuthera too. Core subjects, again, the bio, zoology, botany, oceanography, and chemistry. And it actually is not hard to find people to do beach cleanups and organize. You'd actually be surprised how many people want to be a part of beach cleanups and are willing to do them properly and not lazily. Am I working on any interesting projects at the moment? As Lashanti the Siren, I definitely am. And you can follow me on social media. You have my beautiful handles over to this is my right, to see what those are, because I cannot announce everything publicly yet. But this is also one of the cool projects that I've been doing. Research-wise, those are things at work. So follow the Perry Institute for Marine Science to find out more about some of the research stuff that is done there, because it is a research institute. And yes, I had the chance to answer your questions. No, this is Patrick. I hope you are having a great day. All right, this next one comes from, okay, yeah, this also did not have a nickname, but it starts with an N, and I hope you recognize your letter. Hello, Lashanti. My name is Anonymous N, and I attend Deep Creek Middle School. I would like to ask some questions for you next Siren Sundays. What is it like to be a marine conservationist? Which marine environment do you work more closely with and enjoy? And what subject area do you need to become a marine conservationist? What's it like? It's exciting and it's inspiring. I thoroughly enjoy being a marine conservationist. My current work at the Perry Institute focuses on coral reef ecosystems. I specifically work with people, the humans, that live around these communities in the Bahamas. So I guess I work closely with all environments, and I enjoy working in the Bahamas. Every environment that I found in the Bahamas is amazing, and I enjoy it. And the core subjects, like I said earlier, bio, zoology, etc. This next one is from Bubbly Amy. Hello. I am a grade 7 student at Deep Creek Middle School. We love our ecosystem and to keep our environment clean. Some things about me is that I love to help my mom with her garden, and I like to keep our yard full with flowers. I love to cook with my older sister and learn how to cook more stuff. Cooking's important. I love, I normally help with more stuff that has to be done when I am not busy, but I love to help out when I can. My school is a great help. We normally get a chance to plant new plants. My questions are, how often do you get to visit the family islands? How long does it take to be a marine biologist? How long does it take to clean the trash when you visit places? And my question for you, Miss Siren, thank you for calling me that. Do you enjoy working there? Is it sad working there with a mask on when you love seeing people smile? From Bubbly Amy. These kids are smart. So, how often do I get to visit the family islands? Unfortunately, now that I am in COVID, I do not get to visit the family islands as often as I would like to. But I used to be able to go almost every month at one point. I love exploring our country. And shameless plug again, Eleuthera is my favorite island. How long does it take to be a marine biologist? It took me 4 years. That's how long it took to get the bachelor's degree. How long did it take to clean trash when you visit a place? It depends on the amount of trash. I try to keep beach cleanups at 2 hours max because it can be very tiring, especially with the heat and lifting heavy things. So I do enjoy working here in the Bahamas. And I do get sad that I can't see people smile, but I'm happy that they're wearing masks because wearing masks is very important to help slow and stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. You're welcome, Ministry of Health. Wear your mask, kids. So this next letter is from Young Lion. Dear Miss Lashanti, I hope you are having a good day. I just want to say that I'm very thankful for what you've done for the Bahamas. Young Lion, thank you. You have done an amazing job at what you do. I see that you do a lot of facts and tell interesting things about marine mammals. I really like when you said you will save the world one ocean at a time. Thank you, because I say that enough. My one question is, how often do you? Sincerely, Young Lion. How often? I think this was also an incomplete letter. I'm going to guess, how often do I try to save the world one ocean at a time? Every day. Every day. This next one is from Finn the Earth Lover. Dear Miss Jupp, I am Finn the Earth Lover, and I am from Deep Creek Middle School. I love the ocean. Sincerely, Finn the Earth Lover. I love the ocean too. Me too, Finn. All right, this next one is from Sandy Shell. Dear Miss Jupp, I had to get used to hearing that. I am a 12-year-old pupil at the wonderful Deep Creek Middle School. Pupil indeed. In my club, the Eco Club, we are trying to get people to change how they treat the world with kindness by remembering the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. How do you encourage others to use the 3 R's in your work? What is your favorite place to have a beach cleanup? What classes do you have to take to become a conservationist and a science communicator? And what tools do you use to study spiders? From the Sandy Shell. You threw that last one in there, and I did try to Google that one too. So I encourage people to use the 3 R's by living it and explaining it. You see someone, or when you're out and someone sees me say no straw and I pull my metal straw out of my bag, they don't understand, what that is. And by living it, I have the opportunity to now explain it and tell them why I'm doing this and why they should do it too. I always try to, any chance I can get, to talk about it. And again, by living it, it starts the conversation. So that's what I do in my work and day-to-day life. In work, I do a lot of speaking and social media posts. What is my favorite place to have a beach cleanup? A dirty beach. I like to clean up a dirty beach, guys. Wherever they are, let me know. We will clean it up. What classes do you have to take to be a conservationist and a science communicator. While they are offered, like you can get like a degree in science communications, I did marine biology, and you can just kind of become a conservationist by studying and understanding what needs to be done. If I had to say what classes or what things you should do to kind of do both of these things together, public speaking is very important. Join your speech club, get really good at persuasive writing because that helps as well. You can also, I used to perform, backtrack to when I said I wanted to be a singer. I was serious about that dream, guys. I really wanted to do it. But that whole being on stage and understanding how to convey things passionately helps with science communications. And also just understanding whatever the science is that you want to communicate. For me, which is marine science, marine conservation. So those would be how I would tell you to do that. And what tool do you use to study spiders? I don't study spiders. I keep a healthy and respectful distance from spiders, as I think we all should. They are pretty cool, though. But I think people who study them, which are called archaeologists. Someone help me out in the audience. But I'm pretty sure that's how I pronounce it. I'm sure they use things like catching them with nets using microscopes. But if you want to study a spider, you can simply walk outside and observe them from a safe distance. I think it's important when you're walking through the coppice forest to always keep, one hand outstretched and always kind of look for the webs. And if you can avoid breaking the web, then do that. I know sometimes it is a bit hard, but definitely try to avoid breaking a spider's web and just take some time to observe the work and the time that spider took into making that web. It's a beautiful, beautiful constructed piece that deserves to be admired for as long as you decide to stand there and admire it. Thank you, Sandy Shell. This next one is from Jay the Diver. Dear Lashanti Jup, hello. I am currently in grade 7. I'm also in the Eco Club, and we are working on recycling. We set up recycling bins, and I have organized them. I have some questions for you and was hoping you can answer them. I sure can. I was wondering, what's it like to be a conversationalist? Also, what classes might one have to take in order to become a marine biologist? So this says conversationalist. I think you might have meant conservationist, but since I've answered the conservationist one, I'm going to answer conversationalist because I am also a conversationalist. What's it like? It's fun. You have to like talking, and I do like talking. So being a conversationalist is great. Being a conservationist is also great too. Classes, again, all your sciences when you're in school, when you get into college, if you decide to take up marine biology as a degree, oceanography, biology, botany, zoology, chemistry, all those good things. You're welcome, Jay the Diver. Next up, we have Save the World Sans. That's their nickname, Save the World Sans. Which, yeah, that's a really interesting name. I like that one. Hi, Lashanti Jup. My name is blank, aka Save the World Sans. Here are some things about me. I attend Deep Creek Middle School, or DCMS. I am 12 years old, and I attend Wellness Club held by Miss Butler. Hi, Miss Butler. And I also attend Miss Butler's Adversary Go BA. I'm not sure. I think that's a typo somewhere in there. I have some questions for you. What class did you take to become a marine biologist? What is a conservationist? Who studies birds in the Bahamas? And how hard is it to organize trash cleanups around the world? I'm going to start with the bottom question. I'm not at organizing around the world yet. I'm going to accept that and receive that because I hope one day to be doing that. Right now, I'm only on one island. I'm going to go national, and then I'm going to go regional, and then I'm going to go international. So when I am organizing beach cleanups around the world, I will let you know, Save the World Sans, because you'll be helping me too. What classes did I take? Just mentioned those. The biochemistry, all that good stuff. What is a conservationist? A person who is trying to protect and preserve the environment and wildlife. And who studies birds in the Bahamas? I love this question. I got really excited. I don't know if these people are listening to me. There are many people who study birds. Let me say that. I personally highly recommend Scott Johnson and Bradley Watson at the Bahamas National Trust. I used to work with them. Technically, all conservationists work together, so I still work with them. But very big shout out to Scott Johnson and Bradley Watson. Scott Johnson also has a Facebook page called Wild Bahamas. So if you are on Facebook and you want to follow that, he sometimes shows you the birds that he is studying. Bradley doesn't have a specific Facebook page or anything yet, but they work together. So Bahamas National Trust, Scott Johnson, Bradley Watson, holler, and they study birds in the Bahamas. Thank you, Save the World Sands. So this not last one, sorry. There's like a couple more. This one is from Kay the Flamingo. Dear Conservationist Jup. Oh, I like that title, Kay. Conservationist Jup. Hi, I'm a 7th grade student at the lovely Deep Creek Middle School, and I'm going to tell you about me and Deep Creek Middle School. Firstly, what is Deep Creek Middle School? This flamingo knows what she's doing. She's a good writer. Well, it is an amazing school that teaches kids about nature and lots of fun stuff. And it is a clean, green school. Clean, green, and pristine. I am in a club which is called the Agricultural Club. And inside that club, we learn a lot, emphasis on a lot, about nature, and we also help take care of the environment. My favorite part about Deep Creek Middle School is that we get to learn outside of the classroom about marine life and other native species. Now, can you tell me, what is a conservationist? I'm sorry that I'm putting like such a tone to some of these letters. This is definitely all in my head, guys. I've never met any of these kids yet. Now, can you tell me, what is a conservationist? What inspired you to become a conservationist? Here's why I think littering should be stopped. Littering should be stopped because it is bad for the environment and sea creatures. And instead of littering, people should recycle, because by recycling it, you can make a lot of cool things. Sincerely, Kay the Flamingo. What is a conservationist? Again, anybody who wants to preserve and protect the environment and the wildlife. What inspired me is living here in the Bahamas, the most beautiful country in the world, in my opinion. Awesome. This next one is from Number One Snorkeler. Are you really number one? Would your peers think that you're number one? I think you're number one, so you can have it. Dear Lashanti Jup, Miss Jup, I will start the letter with an idea of who I am and what my school does for the environment and my experience so far. I am from Rock Sound, and I never really cared for environmental health until I came to Deep Creek Middle School. This is mostly because we have chores and things we do there every day to keep me thinking about doing environment chores or activities like Eco Club, recycle, and trash bins in every class. My questions are, how do I get other people outside of Deep Creek Middle School to care about environmental health? Also, what is a conservationist? And did you go to college in the Bahamas? If not, where did you go? What is your opinion about Deep Creek Middle School? I will tell you some things and facts about myself. My name is Blank, and I am a student at Deep Creek Middle School. Things I like doing are environmentally friendly. I like to also play basketball and play video games. One of my favorite things that we do at Deep Creek Middle School that is environmentally friendly is School Without Walls. For the grade 7 School Without Walls, we snorkeled, learned about sea animals, and we learned about the environment around us. I don't know too much about the other grades. All I know is that in grade 8 we do some farming, and grade 9 we do scuba diving. Sincerely, Number One Snorkeler. So to answer your questions, how do I get people outside of Deep Creek Middle School to care about the environment? You have to talk about it. You have to be about it. You have to let them know, and you have to show them how. And by showing them, you have to also be the one doing it. What is a conservationist? I answered that earlier, so I'll just jump past that. And I actually went to College of the Bahamas when it was called College of the Bahamas. It's now University of the Bahamas for 1 year. I studied biochemistry there, and then I went off to school in North Miami at Barry University. And then, like I said earlier, I also went to University of Cambridge for my master's. My opinion about Deep Creek Middle School, it's fantastic. Again, shameless plug. I need to come and visit you guys. I would like your school to bring me there. Thank you, number one snorkeler. So, next one is from Mr. WWE. WWE. Dear Lashanti, most people refer to me as Mr. WWE. I am in the 7th grade at Deep Creek Middle School. Since my enrollment at Deep Creek Middle School, I have become more aware of the environment that we live in, along with marine life. I'm excited about this opportunity to write to you with a few questions that I would like you to answer or explain to me. What are the normal traditions of Earth Day? Like what normally happens? On Earth Day, do we plant trees and wear colors of the earth? How hard is it to become a marine biologist? Are there any camps that can teach us more about conservation in the Bahamas? Do you know who studies crawfish in the Bahamas? And do you think that crawfish would be hard to find 10 years from now? Last but not least, are fly traps dangerous for the environment? Hope to hear from you soon. Fly traps, if you're using the ones that are like glue or like the electric ones, they're bad for flies, dangerous for flies, and other bugs that may kind of jump into them. As far as the environment, in that way, they are bad for the environment, that other insects could get caught in them, but they're not as detrimental as something like using rat poison for rats. Normal traditions of Earth Day, it varies from country to country. In the Bahamas, we recently, from the Bahamas National Trust angle, they started doing National Park Day. People like to celebrate by doing cleanups, whether it be forest cleanups or beach cleanups. So to say what normally happens around the world is a bit hard, but I can tell you what normally happens here. You can definitely plant trees and you can wear colors of the earth. I personally like to wear blue. You can wear green and browns. You can wear yellows and oranges. It's not that hard to be a marine biologist, especially if it's something you're very passionate about doing. Camps that can teach you about conservation. There's so many organizations that offer summer camps for students. I know the Bahamas Reef Environmental Educational Foundation, Reef, offers things about conservation. The Bahamas National Trust also has camps. When you're a bit older, you can do things like internships at different organizations that I'm sure are in Eleuthera as well as New Providence and other islands in the Bahamas. Now, the only person that I know that studies crawfish in the Bahamas would be Dr. Lester Gittins at the Department of Marine Resources. And I don't think it'll be hard to find crawfish from now, 10 years from now, because at this time is a sustainable fishery. And if we just keep doing that, we should still have crawfish in 10 years to come. Thank you, Mr. WWE. This one didn't have a nickname either. So I will bypass the name. So we have anonymous R. Dear Miss Lashanti, I love that you are passionate about the earth and the Bahamas ecosystems. I want to ask you questions about you and the ecosystem. How long were you a marine biologist? Do you encourage kids of any age to help the ecosystem? I have been a plastic club warrior for 5+ years. I love what I have done these last 5 years. Do you have any more suggestions on what we should do to help the Bahamas cut down the use of plastic? My favorite thing about Plastic Club is that we find creative ways to cut down the use of plastic in the Bahamas. I hope you and people like you help the Bahamas area and ecosystem, get them protected. So, how long have I been a marine biologist? Officially 6 years, since 2015 when I graduated from undergrad or my bachelor's. I encourage kids, yes. I have worked with kids from as young as age 4 all the way up to when they stop being kids at 18 and then they become young adults. I'm glad that you've been a Plastic Club warrior. Suggestions that I would have is for people to make active steps on their own. I know sometimes you still see stores or places that are doing it, but by refusing straws, by refusing plastic bags, by making those small steps in your day-to-day life, you can help the Bahamas cut down the use of plastic. And that looks like it. That was all your questions. All the best, Anonymous R. Next up, we have the Royal Starfish. Dear Miss Jupp, I'm a 7th grader at Deep Creek Middle School. and I'm honored to have the opportunity to write this letter to you. According to what I've read, you're concerned about the environment, which I admire because there aren't many people who are. At Deep Creek Middle School, one of our main priorities is to keep our surroundings clean, and we make every effort to be friends with nature. I love that. One of the most important times that we get to put what we've learned into practice during school is during schools without walls. We are taught not only how to keep ourselves secure, but also how to keep the animals and plants around us protected. How did you learn about caring for animals and the environment? Sincerely, the royal starfish. I learned by respecting other animals in nature. So it started from as young as I can remember. And then when you learn classes in elementary and middle school and high school to understand and appreciate nature, I think that's how I learned to care about animals and the environment. This next one is from that girl, Nia. Dear Miss Jupp, my nickname is that girl, Nia, and I am 11 years old. I attend the wonderful Deep Creek Middle School. I am in the 7th grade, and during School Without Walls, I've learned about coral reefs. I didn't know they were so important to us. I think my favorite thing about coral reefs is that they protect the coastlines from storms and erosion. My favorite coral reef is a fan coral. I think they're pretty cool too. I am very curious about some things. What's your favorite marine animal? The sea otter. My favorite marine animal is either a starfish or a fairy basslet. I would like to know what is the job or responsibilities of a conservationist, and what's your favorite thing about your job? It sounds pretty interesting, but the word conserve is in there, and it means to protect something from harm or keep safe. See, you got it. You know exactly what it is. How did you become interested? What classes do you have to take in order to become a marine biologist? Also, how many classes are there? I hope I get to meet you one day. See, I hope I get to meet you too. Sincerely, that girl, Nia. So my favorite thing about my job, again, is working with people and doing things like this. You answered it right there. The word conserve is one of the root words, or is the root word of being a conservationist. So it is to protect and conserve. I became interested from the moment I first stepped foot into the ocean that I could remember. I loved the ocean. I loved doing things to help keep the ocean clean and pristine. And classes, again, all the sciences, oceanography, zoology, all those good things. How many classes? There are a lot, depending on if you decide to do a 2-year, 4-year degree. But it's manageable. I think you can handle it. Yes, and I hope to meet you one day too. Next up, we have a letter from T-Bird. Dear Miss Jupp, I am in grade 7 at Deep Creek Middle School, and I am in a gardening club. I have a few things that I would like to ask you. The first one is, what are some things you do at your job as a conservationist and science communicator? Do you sometimes collaborate with other groups and organizations? Sincerely, T-Bird. So, what do? I talk to people. I get them interested into conservation. I also try to encourage them to make small steps to change the fate of our planet, really, in our country. And as a science communicator, I do things like this. I break down information for people who did not study science so that they can understand and also relate and connect to nature. And if I collaborate with other groups and organizations, yes, all the time, I think that is the best way to get things done, because everyone has a common goal in mind and we have to work together to see that goal go through. So some of the ones that I've recently collaborated with, again, YME and CC Bahamas. I used to work for the Bahamas National Trust, and we collaborated with Brief and TNC. I currently work for PIMS, and we also collaborate with other organizations like the Island School. So collaboration is very important in conservation, I think, as an individual, as well as working in and with organizations. This is the last one, guys. We've actually gotten to the end, and I'm actually a bit sad about that. But this one is from Zerth. Zerth. All right. Dear Miss Jupp, that's me. My homage to all that, dear Ashley. Hi, Fred. So, dear Miss Lashanti Jupp, hi. I'm sure you know that many questions me and the wonderful students at Deep Creek Middle School have to offer. We adore your learning, exciting opportunities, and how you share them with the world. And we are truly honored to be in contact with your amazing self. Oh, guys, I'm sad this is the last one. You inspire the Deep Creek Middle School community to thrive with you to make the world a better place. These are my questions. How is it for you to connect to nature as a marine conservationist? What is it like being a marine conservationist? What does the organization study and how do you study it? What are the best methods to resolve conflicting policies in the marine environment? That's a good question. And hope you enjoyed my questions. We'll have more next time. Also, I'm in grade 7 and go Earth Day. Sincerely, Zerth. So, how is it for me to connect to nature? It's really easy for me. I simply put my feet in the water. To connect people with nature, I feel like it starts with one conversation at a time. There is this myth or this falsehood that people are separate from nature. And so by starting the conversation off with that, I found that that's how you help connect people to nature, getting them to understand how we are a part of it. And it's not this separate other thing on the side or outside, you know? What is it like being a marine conservationist? It's wonderful. It's inspiring. It's exhilarating. I love it. I think it is definitely what I was meant to do with my life. And so I definitely enjoy every minute of it. What does the organization study? If you mean the Perry Institute for Marine Science, where I work right now, they study coral reefs, ecosystems. We also have a fisheries and conservation unit. We have the wonderful Dr. Krista Sherman, who studies the Nassau grouper. We also do things related to that. So follow them on social media as well. What are the best methods to resolve conflicting policies in the marine environment? At this very moment in the Bahamas, I'm not sure which policies you think are conflicting. I think we could use some more policies. But if you mean personal policies, like when people have conflicting ideas about things, the best thing to do is to have a conversation and understand the other person's perspective and then try to see what your goal is, right? Are you guys now going to try to work for the greater good of the island, the area, the country, or are you working for the greater good of yourself? What are the motives? And in figuring that out, that's the baseline for resolving conflict. And I did enjoy your questions. I hope you enjoyed listening to me answer these questions. I definitely want to come there and windsurf and snorkel and dive and meet you guys. So thank you for having me and sending these beautiful letters. We should do this again sometime, maybe in person. Hint, hint again. But thank you for everyone who's been watching and who's viewed. I really enjoy doing this. If you want me to do this for your school, here's the info. This was recorded, and so it will be on my YouTube page. It'll also be on my website, and you'll also be able to find it on my Facebook and Instagram. I hope you all who are watching have a beautiful afternoon. Siren Sundays will be coming back soon, so stay tuned for that. There will be a special season happening. And Deep Creek Middle School, you guys are great. Keep doing the amazing things that you're doing. Keep doing those clubs, taking those classes, and enjoying school without walls, because getting outside, connecting with nature at the age that you guys are at right now, you're going to change the world. No doubt. Each and every one of you who sent me a letter, even if you didn't get a chance to send me a letter, your school sounds amazing, and I believe that you will change the world. We will save the world one ocean at a time, with one conversation at a time. And I know I'm all the way here in New Providence, and you guys are all the way in Eleuthera, but remember, the ocean connects us to each other and to nature. Have a great Thursday afternoon, everyone. I know it feels like it's the weekend already, but go to school tomorrow, do some good work, go to work, and remember to make sustainable choices every day. Small steps to a big change.